We are going to understand in this video about data driven approach, how we can use a data driven approach in Postman. Let's shall begin. So before going forward, to understand what is a data driven approach, a data driven approach where we have a multiple set of data which we use for running our test cases with the different scenarios in our Postman. So for that, what we need to do if we are working with a data driven approach, we going to create a collections. Let me give the name a data driven approach. This is my collection name. In this collection I'm going to create a, now I'm going to create a one request. So I'm taking this site which is basically a site where you can get a fake data for your API testing. If you want to test automation testing and work with the APIs, then you can use this site. There are multiple requests are available and different one, so you can use get, post, all the CRUD matters over here. You can see that, like, if this is a operation for a get, this is a request and this is a response. So this is a wonderful site, you can refer it. Okay, so I'm taking this site for this showing you. So let me create a one request first. Let me create a post request over here, and I am going to give, taking the information from over here, putting on this. Now I have to take the request which API I am going to use. So let me use a post request for register. So this is my request URL. So either I can copy it from over here, or if I click on this, it will give me the complete URL endpoint. So let me paste it over here. This is what I have pasted. Okay, so this is what I have done now, and I'll go for the body. So now I have to write the body. So for body, I'm going to select raw text as a JSON, and now in JSON I'm going to write my body. So this is how we write a body. So I'm passing this values, right? At this time, let me say, let me take the value from over here only, right? So this is ID1, this is the value which I'm going to take, right? Let's say this is the value I'm going to take it, comma, password, and I have to give the password into that. So let's say the name, user, the color. It's not giving me the password, so let's take the another which we have at this point of time, list of you all the users. So this is my email ID. Let me take this email ID. This is my value which I'm going to take, right? Or so this is the value, right? So let me take this value. This is the value I'm taking it at this email. Second, this is my password. This is what I'm taking over here and writing over here. So this is what I have written. So this is my simple request for the post request. Let's run it. Now you can see this is the ID 9 token number this which I received. This is the ID number 9. This is what I received it. Now how the data driven work on this side, on this. So let's do that. So first of all, what I am going to do, I am going to create a global variable over here. Okay, so either I can do directly over here, or I can select this and set as a variable, set as a new variable, global, and give the name as a endpoint URL. So this is what name I have given, and set variable. This is what I have done it, right? So you can see over, click on this eye icon, you can see this is my global variable, this is my initial value, this is my current value. This is what I have given. Okay, now let's, because these are the parameters which we are giving it to that, so let's create another variable, right? So for what, I'm going to click on this, I click on the edit, I create email over here and give the name, top is initial value I'm giving over here, is what I have done. So I'm creating a global variables. So I have given the initial value. Now let's save it. Right. Now what I can do, instead of using this hard code value over here, I can parameterize it by using my global variable. How? Curly braces and write down my name. You can see this is how I'm going to parameterize. This is how I parameterize. So for more information, you can view our other tutorial about how the Postman works and the automation of API using Postman, in which we have explained all the things are in the details. Okay, so this is how. Let's run it again. So you can see this is how it's worked. Now we have set the global variables. Now how we are going to use a different data set of data. For that, what we need to do, we have to create a CSV file. So I have already created one CSV file. Let me show you that CSV file. So this is my CSV file. It's opening. So you can see this is my CSV file in which what I have done, I have created email, password, email. These are the two columns. One is email, another is the password, where I have given these values at different values. I can provide the more values over here. Okay. Now this is the one which I have. Now I'm going to run it. So how I'm going to run it? Let's see. For that I need to go to the Postman. Okay. Let's save it and close. This is what I'm going to save it. Request name, I'll say the request name is data driven. Okay, and I'm going to save in my this particular collection. So I've saved it. Right, let me close all this. At this point of time, over here this is a button called a runner. I click on this runner. I'll drop down my request over here. Now over here you can see this is the data which I'm going to select. That select file, I select this, open. This is what I have done. So you can see if I click on the preview, you can see it's not showing the preview. Save the response, and I'm going to click on the run, data driven approach. Okay, now just run it. Now you can see there is nothing, is the request does not have any test. Okay, when I click on this, I can see the request URL. We see the request body. You can see this is the request body has been given. This is the request response. Was it not logged? Over here again the same thing, the response body was not logged. Right, the URL request header, request URL, we can see this is the request URL has been done, and this is over the same thing you can see. But now what we are going to do, now we're going to put the some test case over here, the sample test case. So in that case I'm going to do the test. Click on, these are the some of the snippet which has given for writing a test case. So I'm going to currently use only this one. Save it. Let's run it the manual. You can see now if you go on the test results, you can see that my test case is passed. Right, so let me close this again. My runner over here, I select this. I select file. Let me select the file. So this is, you can click on the preview. It's not showing. Okay, I have selected the wrong file. So let me select my another file. Right, now let's run it. So we have run it. You can see status code is 200, status code is 200. Now if I click on response body, this is not logged because I haven't selected the response, save the responses. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over here again, select the response, save the response. Now I run it again. So you can see this is the result I have get it. Let's see the response. So you can see the response is coming now. I can see the response. This is how we can run it. Now there is another way to run this approach again, which we use a JSON file. Now we have seen how we can use a CSV file, but there is another way when we have a data source as a JSON file. So let me do that. So it's the same again, that we have a URL. So only the difference is that we have to go into the runner over here. select file. In the select file, I have to select the data driven file. Let me show you the data driven file which I have used it. So you can see this is the data driven file. This is the same data which I get it from that site. So it's have information, email ID, first name, last name, avatar, email, first name, everything they have mentioned over here. So now let's run it. So I'm going to Postman. I have select this one. If I preview it, so I can see all the detail like IDs, emails, first name, last name over here. So now let's run this. But before that, I'm going to add my test request over here. So let's start running it. So now it's running. So you can see total number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 station has been run because how much data I have in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I have a 6 data, right? So that's why it's a set of 6 test data. We run it. So it will see, you can see that ID number 7. This is run for ID number 7. If you click on this, you can see ID number 8. Then again, if you can click on this one, you can see ID number 9. If you click on this, the last one will be ID number 12. So this is how you can use your JSON file to execute your data driven approach. So these are two ways where you can use either a CSV file to provide a set of data into your request, and the another way is using a JSON, and based on you can provide the data to your test cases. For more detail, to understand how the AP automation testing can be done through the Postman for APIs, I have mentioned the link, so you can go over and view that. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe and share. Thank you.